Hey, this is Tanner with Farm for Profit here at the Iowa Ag Expo, hanging out at the Sukup booth and standing next to, what did you say, the hottest item at the show?
This is the most talked about thing at the show, Tanner. I mean, the paddle sweep, it's new, it's innovative, right? It keeps those farmers out of the grain bins and safe. No reason to get in there and scoop behind it like they traditionally have to.
That's right.
So this is one of the hottest things we talk about at this show.
Well, Randy, our audience knows who you are, but remind them, what do you do for Sukup?
So my name's Randy Marks. I head up our material handling products. So everything you see, like the paddle sweeps, we've got receiving pits, we've got bucket elevators, double runs, all those things that move grain, I kind of work with.
That's great. So when you have these conversations at the farm show about the paddle sweep, what do you start telling people about it?
So the first thing I tell them is, do you really like to run that shovel and broom, or do you have the labor, to be able to provide a way to access and clean up behind the sweep? So those are some of the conversation starters, and then we get into the safety side of it. So how many people you've heard had an accident on the farm, right, and got their leg caught into a auger sweep? It's horrible, and those stories that you hear, and sometimes you get people coming into your booth that can show you scars, and that's a real thing. And when you got that interaction with somebody looking to buy something, they're going to take that and say, yeah, I want to be a little safer on the farm.
So walk me through a couple of the features here. As we look over your shoulder, what am I looking at? Yeah,
so this paddle sweep is actually built to go on a drag conveyor that would sit underneath the grain floor. You can kind of see the floor there. We would put a motor kind of in this open area here, and then that would actually run the sweep. It'd run the gearboxes to run the sweep. So a nice feature we have is we've got a shield here, and inside of that shield there's some sprockets, and we can change those sprockets to run that sweep at the proper speed, so we're not overfilling that center sump.
We come over here, I want you to actually show our listeners what the paddle sweep is made of.
All right.
How it gets this floor so clean.
Okay, so we got two features here. One of the keys is we've got the rubber paddles right here that sweep and drag across that floor, so it's picking up all that grain. And then you get some that kind of escape on the back, so you get underneath there, you see that rubber scraper on the back side, so that kind of keeps that grain coming forward, so those paddles have a chance to get it and use that as a back shield to get that grain off the floor and over into the center sump.
How often do you have to replace the paddles?
That's a good question. So we've done this, we've had the commercial ones out for about 8 to 10 years, and we've never yet had to replace a set of these because they've wore out. So what I tell people, for sure 8 to 10 years, but it's kind of TBD because we're not really sure right now.
We haven't gotten to the extent of the experiment yet.
That's exactly right.
That's good. Well, before we shut off for today, is there anything else you want to tell them about the paddle sweep or Sukup?
Well, I will say the Sukup in general, we're a family-owned company, largest family-owned grain manufacturing company there is, and safety is very important to us. So that's why when you come to our booth, you'll see innovations like the paddle sweep, our grain bin door. We've got the cluster buster that we use. So safety is what we say is ingrained in Sukup manufacturing.
I love it. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Randy. Thanks again.
Nice talking to you, Tanner. Thank you.